first things first today, that's actually what I would like to do. Why don't we talk through a little bit about my progression up to this point. Now, we made a build guide video for you guys that kind of showed you my build, and I told you a little bit about my progression. I think that that's how I want to start today, is talking about my progression, because I started yesterday at 560 item level, and I ended the day at 920 item level. So it looks like a pretty big jump, but it's actually not as much of like progress as it looks, right? Let me go ahead and log into my Berserker and tell you what I'm talking about. So I've made a couple videos talking about this basic kind of thing, right? Where it's like, how do you progress? So for me, while it's still somewhat fresh, I can try to tell you about it a little bit, but bear with me. Because it has also been, you know, a bit of a whirlwind and kind of a lot. So what happens is you level to 50, right? And you pretty much just keep going through the story. That's the main thing. Keep doing your story quests. Keep progressing through. Knock out your daily quests with the Alt-J. Those, like, Una's tasks, right? Knock those out every day. Knock out your Chaos Dungeons every day. Knock out your Guardians every day. That'll get you your basic mats, right? But the real, like, big progression is doing your T1 islands, right? So I made a couple of videos mentioning this, right? And there are probably better guides than just the basics. I'm actually going to go ahead and link you two things, right? So here's one Google Doc that's helpful that lists you all the islands. And then here's another thing. Maxroll.gg has very helpful guides. Now, these are not things that I've followed to the letter, but they're things that are helpful as a guide and probably a way for you to do things more efficiently than I have, if efficiency is what you're interested in. But basically, you grab your pirate coin. If I remember this correctly, what I did is you grab your pirate coins from Blackfang's Den and Freedom Isle. You take them to Pado Isle, right? Take them to Pado Isle. Buy your song from Pado Isle. Use it at Lullaby Island. All the while doing the quests that are on these islands. Take it to Lullaby Island. You're going to come back to Lullaby Island 3 times to get the song that you need to complete Dream Goal Island. Dream Goal Island gives you a ridiculous amount of mats, right? Starlight Island also gives you a ridiculous amount of mats. What's it called? Serenity Isle gives you a ridiculous amount of mats. Okay? Shadow Island, which I haven't even completed yet, gives you a ridiculous amount of mats. So those are some big ones, okay? I did all of those, I farmed all of that, and that gave me a ton of materials, okay? So I was able to convert a lot of those materials, along with all the dailies that I had done, into some pretty juicy upgrades. During this process, I was also kind of dinking around doing some tier 2 islands that had just sort of happened along the way, right? So in order to get to 560, I had to use all the mats that I had farmed up for my dailies and from the islands, but the islands are like a huge chunk of where you're going to get mats. And I will say something. I did use a little bit of Mari's secret shop to get the Harmony shards I needed in order to get the upgrades. So these Harmony shards, very helpful. They cost blue crystals. If you guys got a Founders Pack, you should have some blue crystals. But if you wanted to, and if you had gold, you can also use the currency exchange to buy blue crystals with gold. So think of the shop as just another, like, way of getting resources, right? Like, you can get the resources from doing the dailies. You can farm the Chaos Dungeon to buy resources from these Chaos vendors, right? You can buy these out. You can go to the port towns, and you can check the weekly vendors to, like, check the merchant ships, because those guys have upgrades too. These are all ways of securing materials for yourself that you're going to need for your tier 1 upgrades. And I imagine this is going to be very similar for the tier 2 upgrades as well. Let's see. So here's the traveling merchant ship. You go to the normal tab, and it'll have all these little upgrade mats available for pirate coins, right? So eventually I'm going to need to buy these, like, life shards out. I think I'll just do that. Go ahead and do that right now. Let me buy 5 of these right now. I don't need the destruction stones yet, but I will need the guardian stones probably. So I'm going to go ahead and buy 90. How much does 90 cost? Is that going to bankrupt me? No. I'm going to go ahead and buy 30 of these. I'm just going to buy everything it's got. And you want to... Well, no. Johnny, these are pirate coins. Don't call me no cheater. These are pirate coins that you get from doing pirate quests. Yeah, they're doubloons. But I was talking briefly about using the shop as it's just a way to use your resources, right? So you basically get gold in the game by doing quests and selling things in the auction house, and you can use the gold to buy blue crystals that then you can use on Mari's secret shop. Now you don't want to use this as your main source of like making gains, but I was able to fill in the gaps a little bit and buy a few packs of harmony shards and stars breaths to buff up my chances of succeeding, because those upgrades are like 40% chance to succeed. So you can get pretty unlucky. I think I got pretty lucky overall. I definitely failed quite a few in a row, but I also got pretty lucky overall. So anyway, that's like how, like this whole thing is how you get mats to hone your gear to 60, okay? Sorry, to 600. Once you reach 600 item level, you can immediately, if you've already used your materials, or sorry, if you already used your chaos dungeons for the day on tier 1 materials, then you can't use it for tier 2 immediately. But if you just want to wait the next day, you can just wait the next day and get 800 eye level gear to drop. But if you were like me and you're like, yo, I want to have as much gains as I can, you actually go to the auction house and you go to tier 2 and you go to gear, and then you can actually just buy this like tier 2 gear for like dirt cheap. It's like 6 gold to buy a weapon, right? Then it's like, what? This is 15 gold to buy a helmet, 14 for a chest piece, pants are 7, gloves are 10, shoulders are 8. So it's like dirt cheap to buy. So as soon as you get 600 item level, unless if you want to wait one day to do the chaos dungeons and get this gear for free, you can. But if you used all your lockouts dailies to get to 600, then immediately go to the auction house and buy 802 gear for dirt cheap, and then you can start upgrading your 802 gear with the tier 2 mats that you got from doing your like your islands, and you can immediately start upgrading it with your like life shards and your life leap stones and your destruction and guardian stones. And that's how I was able to go from 560 to 920 in like an hour, because I pooled all my resources from islands, and then I just did one big crafting session, making use of all the dailies, making use of all the islands primarily for the big chunks of tier 1 upgrade loot. To get to 600, upon reaching 600, I immediately went to the auction house, bought a full set of 802 eye level gear for dirt cheap, and then I applied, and you can, once you bump your gear up a little bit, then you can start, once you get to 840, you can start buying the accessories and the life thingies. You don't need these, but your old stuff will be like very ineffective. Not only will it be way worse, it'll also be half as effective. So I went ahead and bought like jewelry just to go ahead and get that on my character. It kind of messed up my engravings a little bit, but it's fine. But the main thing that I wanted to tell you is how to get to 600 eye level is a fair amount of farming, dailies, islands are huge. You can even make use of Mari's secret shop for fairly cheap blue crystals, which you can acquire by trading for gold for blue crystals, right? So all this is just in-game. There's no like you don't have to pay anything like real money for this. This is all just straight in-game grind, right? Now if you have founders packs, you can definitely make use of that. There's like a level 50 pack or something that gives you a bunch of crystals, which is pretty cool. But anyway, you can make use of these Mari's secret shop to kind of fill in the gaps that your dailies and islands didn't give you. And then you just got to get a little bit lucky, get to 600 eye level. Upon reaching 600 eye level, buy out the sets for less than 100 gold. Also, 50 friends is free crystals. Oh, I need more friends then. Yeah, we got to get some more friends. Yo, add me, bros. Where's my friends list? Where are my requests at? Boom. Thanks for the heads up on that one. Add me, bros. Give me some crystals. Add me up, add me up. Add me up, add me up. But then, yeah, so buy your set, and then hopefully if you've done some T2 islands, you can use your T2 mats, or you can go buy the T2 mats the same way that you did before. Go to your market pirate ship, go to your Chaos Dungeon vendor, buy them bad boys out right here, and then crank upgrades as much as you can. My upgrades got to about this point, +6. And then for me, my next objective is to start doing more T2 islands and progress my story, because now I can go to Yorn, right? Because that's what unlocks at 600 eye level, is you just go to Yorn and start progressing, which is all going to be new for me. But basically, the main thing I want to let you guys know is how to grind to 600. Just make... Oh, and you can use the guild vendor, I believe, too. If there's like a guild bloodstone vendor, which I didn't really use yet, but apparently there is a guild bloodstone vendor. I don't know if they have the guild vendor right here. Let me see. I know that there's one in like Lutera Castle. Simil Bloodstone Exchange is right here. Okay, I could go look for that real quick. Those might only be T2 mats, but anyway, you got to use all your available resources to acquire the mats to grind the T1, and then once you get to 600 level, you can buy 800 eye level gear, and then use any T2 mats you may have gotten from the island quests to progress really fast to like 800 plus, 900 plus eye level. That's the main thing. Does that make sense? You're just slowly stuck at 550? Yeah, did you do... Yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, so honing materials. So you can buy the T1 mats from here, and I probably should have. I probably should have bought some of these because I do have the guild mats, but now I can use them on the T2 stuff, right? Yeah. Now I can use them on the T2 stuff if I want to, so it's an option. This is another thing that you can do. So buy out your Chaos vendor, buy out your pirate market, and then buy out your guild thing. But the cool thing is now, if I don't want to use, since I didn't buy them out on this guy, what I can do is I can buy them on my alts and bump them up a little bit. Yeah, so hopefully that's like real quick, because I was like, wow, I started at 560 eye level the other day, and now I'm 920, like in one fell swoop. And I just want to make you aware of all the different places that you can get resources from. So dailies, islands, the various vendors, Chaos vendor, guild vendor, marketplace, like the pirate vendor, and then of course the shop as well. You can convert your gold into blue crystals and buy the blue crystals just to kind of fill it out if you're really struggling for mats. Amy, thanks so much for the 44 months. Big flex for you. And the other big thing is, as soon as you hit 600 eye level, you immediately buy all the loot from the auction house, and then you can start bumping it up with T2 mats. If you have the T2 mats, and if you don't, then it's the same thing. Hit the story, hit the T2 islands, hit all those same vendors, hit your dailies, stay on the grind. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. My skill setup is... my engravings have changed a little bit. My skill setup is pretty similar. I haven't done a PvP setup yet because we've just been on the PvE grind, but I'm excited about PvP. But I basically have like the AoE build, and then the single target build is a little bit different. I use Chainsword for raiding. My charge strike is the charge up, where it charges multiple times. Put a little more points in Red Dust. I put more points in Sword Storm for the big Mega Slam. But I think I do that for this one now too, yeah. But yeah, all in all, I mean, like, the build that I do now is pretty much the same thing I was building before, but the main thing that I wanted to talk about real quick, like, as soon as we started the stream today, is just running through how to acquire various materials for upgrades, and the one tip of skyrocketing your eye level by buying the gear from the auction house if you already used all your juice for the day on the T1 upgrades. Big stuff. You say you can convert T1 to T2? Oh yeah, that's another thing that's worth mentioning. Is you actually can gear transfer your plus 15 into the new gear, and it gives you a +1 for free. Yeah. Yep. And then you do the research. Let me actually do that right now because I don't think I did it yet, but I'll show you. That's another really good thing to mention. Yeah. Is the stronghold research to make honing more likely to succeed and take less mats. Another really, really good thing to mention. Surprise, surprise, I'm recording this for YouTube so we can give the homies like another like, hey, I just learned this. these are some helpful things that I want you to know now. Having completed the tier 1 grind, is now it's like, okay, so this is how we got to 600 eye level, and here are some things that you might want to know is upon hitting 600 eye level. But yeah, this is not what we want. The one that we want down here is this roster help. Required XP for tier 1 honing or success rate. Probably maybe just success rate. Both of them take less than an hour to research, so I'll just start this one, then get the other one in a second. Yep. And there's probably more stuff too. Oh yeah, just a fun thing that I found out yesterday that I hadn't mentioned yet in a video is the ship skin is really powerful. It's really fun. So you go to mounts, you go to sailing, and this ship right here, Hermita's Song, you'll notice that fast sailing creates a 30% chance of restoring fast sailing, and it automatically sets to fast sailing during auto sailing. So it'll just like automatically do the little speedy boost for you. So it kind of makes your sailing a little bit faster. It costs 420 blue crystals, which is nothing right now in terms of the gold cost. Really, really juicy. Once again, blue crystals are gold. Just remember that. So anything that you can get with blue crystals, you can get with gold, and everything that's useful in the game is basically blue crystals anyway. So yeah. Anything else that you think we should mention immediately upon hitting 600 eye level for the homies? We mentioned how to do it. We mentioned what to do right after. I think that gives the homies a good start, and we'll keep it going, right? Yeah. A couple little like helpful pieces of information that we've learned that I wanted to deliver to you guys right off the bat today on stream, because I'm hyped, man. This is gonna be a fun day. It's gonna be a good day of progging, because we kind of did like the story grind. You know, now we're gonna do another story phase. Yeah. Now you know. Now you know. We'll keep the information coming, man. Stay tuned. Tune into the stream. Every day we are pumping. Live at twitch.tv/Bajheera, and make sure you guys are showing these videos love on YouTube, hitting that sub button, because we got plenty more on the way. Hopefully this video helps. Let's get this day started.